Hi everyone, welcome to Artificial Entertainment.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Vanderclam.
And
Vanda who?
I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple episodes
Silence
back,
in the court, please.
Tyler hit Martin short with his car, and currently
Oh, no.
he's being sued. And well, we've reached the tail end of the court case.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
Tyler's currently in the witness stand, and they're making final arguments.
Will the accused please say aye?
Aye, Your Honor.
Indeed. And I believe it is time for a final speech by the prosecution. Prosecution, are you ready to give said speech?
Yes, sir, I am. I am prepared to give said speech.
You may proceed.
Wow, you two related?
Ladies and gentlemen, my esteemed client here was a victim, really. In the box before you stands a man who, if kept out in the open now, today, will kill again.
Oh my gosh!
Wait, Martin Short is dead?
While Mr. Short was resuscitated, he did die momentarily at St. Augustine's Hospital. Many of you did see the reports here. Such a driving, homicidal maniac does not deserve to be out on the streets right now.
Objection, Your Honor. No name calling.
Yeah, I was drunk. I wasn't a maniac.
Order.
Tyler, you're making it very hard to be your defense
may
lawyer.
proceed.
Eh?
The prosecution may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, what I'm simply saying is, maybe not the death penalty, but
Oh, wow.
a couple of years maybe to think about what he did to one of America's most beloved actors. I think we all could agree here. Who
He's
among
Canadian!
you? Who
Objection!
among you?
The motion carries.
Oh. It looks like I'm going away for a bit.
All right, everyone. Well,
Wait,
while we try and get
doesn't the
Tyler off the
rabbit
death
deserve
penalty,
a last
Order in the court. Order in the court.
You'll never catch me, coppers! Oh, wait. Hey, look, they caught me.
Hi everyone, welcome to Artificial Entertainment. I'm your host, Josh Lakaitis, and with me, as always, are my two favorite co-hosts in the entire world, Mason Betterly and Tyler Yee.
Hello.
I just wanted to say it was really, you guys are stand-up guys visiting me in prison to do a silly podcast.
Look, we
It's
gotta
all right.
keep up our image. You know, protect our brand.
Well, Mason baked a cake with the Punisher VHS inside, so it wasn't quite what I was.
We'll get to
Hoping
there.
for.
We'll get there. Tyler, I know you don't get a lot here in the Slammer, but I brought you some news. Would you like to hear some news?
Do I want to do what?
I think he said, "Do you want to see some nudes?"
No,
I heard nudes too. Well, I have been in here a long time. I guess that'll have to do.
Oh my gosh, context clues, guys. What do we start every episode by looking at nudes? No, we look at the news.
Well, these aren't as tasteful as I thought they'd be, but
No, because it's the Venom trailer.
Oh,
Oh.
that's okay.
You guys saw it. What did you think of it?
I didn't see it.
Great,
I've
Tyler.
been in prison.
All right, Mason. What did you think of the Venom trailer?
I actually liked it. I'm interested to see how this movie pans out. Hopefully it will not be panned, but
Or a sequel to 2015's Pan.
I was trying to think of some connection for it, but yeah.
yeah, but no, honestly, I like the footage that they're showing of Eddie Brock handling the voices in his head. I like There's one part where he knocks over some guards, and he's like, "Oh, why did we do that?" And I don't know. He seems a lot more in turmoil than the traditional Eddie Brock, but I like it.
No, I like that element to it too. My biggest thing is like I don't know if you guys read the leaked plot outlines, but like this trailer seems to prove that those weren't real.
Yes and no.
Well, like the leaked thing said, oh, Tom Hardy gets the symbiote because he like passes out drunk in the woods. And, like, clearly it's not that. It's, like, he gets it when he goes to investigate the lab.
Yeah. And from what I'm seeing, it does look like most of the footage that we see in here where he's not in the suit, but he's, like the tendrils are coming out to help him. It looks like it's all in one, like, originating chase scene where it all kind of gets started. So maybe...
do you think we will see the Venom suit more than like the last 20 minutes?
I honestly I don't know. I mean, I'm at least hoping for 20 minutes of screen time with the Venom suit, at a minimum. But I've heard a lot of people jokingly say, "Well, wouldn't it be hilarious if that is the last shot of the film and that's all we see of it? That would be so bad." But yeah, I'm hoping for at least 20 minutes of screen time.
Have we had a superhero movie like that?
Where the costume only gets like 20 minutes?
Yeah, maybe the 2015
Rises, maybe?
Fantastic Four. No, because he does that whole like stock market thing.
Yeah,
like, I think
that's
an
true.
Hour in. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, I thought you just meant minimal screen time, not just we only see the suit at the end.
No, because I've never seen that before. Where like the whole movie is just like the origin, and then the last like 5 minutes, like, look, I am the Venom. I don't know why I sound like a Dracula.
Technically X-Men First Class with Magneto.
Well, really, you
Not
could say technically
necessarily.
the whole X-Men trilogy. We never saw them in their real costumes.
Yeah. Oh, that'll
is
come up
true.
later.
That's true. Oh, I have news.
Okay. I guess we're leaving the Venom trailer.
Bye, Venom. Hope you find your symbiote.
Oh, if you guys want to keep talking about
The
Venom,
one thing I wanted
no.
to say is, what do you guys like how the suit looks?
Oh yeah.
I've seen an image and it looked fine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, and I haven't seen the trailer, and I've just seen an image, but it really looks like Spider-Man.
Well, that's what I thought. I'm like, this just kind of looks like a bulkier Topher Grace Venom. But then I went back and looked at the actual Venom costume. I'm like, oh no, this is much better by comparison.
I'd have to compare again, but just at a quick glance.
I've
I
watched.
completely agree. At a quick glance, it does. But if you put them side by side, this one looks so much better.
Yeah. No, I liked the look the minute I saw it. I'm like, yes, thank you. His eyes are a little more narrow.
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on.
But I don't mind it. I mean, like, some people are like, his eyes aren't big enough. I'm like, this doesn't matter. I mean, it's there. It's definitely there. So I like it.
I'm interested. I'm hopeful, but I'm also like I'm hopeful for this in the same way I'm hopeful for Solo. Like it's probably not going to be
now
great,
I see it.
but I hope it's good. I'm not hoping this movie fails.
Yeah.
Well, no, obviously. I mean,
Oh no.
it's just unnecessary.
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah,
very true.
no, that looks way better than Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that looks. Oh, he's got like shark teeth with like rows of teeth.
It's
too.
so
That's cool.
Yeah. The Topher Grace one is so terrible. Tyler, what did you want to move on to? What news did you bring?
Well, news today: Chicken Run 2 got announced.
Right? I mean, I love Aardman, but this seems like a very unnecessary sequel.
20 years later, like kids aren't gonna know what that is.
Those chickens are dead by now.
Those chickens were up to something.
My big question about Chicken Little 2 is, do you
Chicken
think
Run
they'll bring...
2, not Chicken Little 2.
I mean, I kind of would rather see Chicken Little 2
Here,
because I feel like
I'm
you
the
could
king
do
of the
more.
city. Key to my
No.
car. Tic tac.
Tac, tac.
Don Knotts is dead. We can't go on.
Oh, we could never go back. No, you're right. You're very right. And
Speaking
Adam,
of which, will they get Mel Gibson back? For
that's
Chicken
what I
Run
meant.
2?
That's what I was just about to ask before I just completely slipped up. I don't know, because he's kind of making a comeback in Hollywood.
That's fair.
I don't think the general movie-going audience has really let Mel had a past.
Well,
I mean,
I mean,
Hacksaw Ridge got a Best Picture nomination. It might have gotten Best
But
Director.
that's the Academy. That's not the audience. Do you guys remember when Mel Gibson spoke at our graduation?
yeah.
That's
And
a
Vince
fun
Vaughn
fact.
was there, and we were all, huh?
But we had
Okay.
Mad Max. That's the only way I could justify it. Is that we had Mad Max speak at our graduation.
I had a copy of Thunderdome. I remember because I was staying at your apartment for some reason, and I had a copy of Thunderdome.
Because the dorms closed. They
Yeah.
kicked you out of the dorms.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm like, if I could just get my copy of Thunderdome, it's not even my favorite Mad Max movie. Just get him to sign it. This would all be worth it.
I'm just in there. Maybe he's not racist anymore. That'd be nice. That would really make this a fun event.
It's not. I don't think it's that he's racist. I think he was. He's anti-Semitic.
That's
Anti-Semitic.
And yeah, that's what I said.
You said Semitic.
I feel like
No,
anti-Semitic
I said
is
anti-Semitic.
racist. You know, we're having the important
Anti-Semitic is
conversations
racist.
here on our movie podcast.
Well, we've had 2 podcasts in a row where we talked about Thunderdome.
I was trying to breeze past that. But you brought nope, stop.
Dome of Thunder.
You know, I'm just glad they took away your soundboard in prison, Tyler. That's very nice.
Oh, actually, look what I smuggled up my butt.
Oh boy.
Oh
Great.
no.
Joy. Anyway, speaking of
Hey,
unnecessary
you
animated
enjoy my
sequels.
soundboard. That took an hour to poop out. It's like giving birth.
Life of Pets 2.
What?
Yeah.
Secret Life of Pets.
Life of Pets.
I just I knew the title seemed short, but yeah, all I have written down here is Life of Pet 2.
Life of Pet 2.
The
Go
Secret
on.
Isle
Is that
of
it?
Dogs.
Speaking of problematic leads that could possibly be recast, Louis C.K. has been recast, being replaced by Patton Oswalt.
Okay.
That's a weird choice.
I mean, they're both successful stand-up comics.
No, it's not even about that. They don't sound
Kid,
like Patton Oswalt has a very distinctive voice.
yeah, and like I don't know. As a kid, I always noticed when the actors changed.
It's Secret Life of Pets. Like, who cares?
No, it's Secret Life of Pet 2.
Shut up.
Get it right.
Well, Harrison Ford's going to be in this. That's why I feel like it's worth bringing up.
I thought, okay, I heard that in the news. I was like, is he replacing Louis? Or that's my owner.
I thought you were a house cat. Part time.
I already bark around the clock.
Come home, Ben. Your owner misses you.
Oh, gracious. On a serious note, Patton Oswalt's wife was a murder.
Can we look
Sure.
up her name before we just refer to her as Patton Oswalt's wife?
I don't even remember what the title of her job was. Hold on.
She was a writer. Hold on, I'm looking up her name.
She was researching the Golden State Killer case.
Oh,
and she's
yeah.
writing a book on it.
Michelle
Her
Elaine
name-
McNamara.
Her name is Michelle
McNamara.
McNamara. Sure.
And they finally found the killer.
What?
No, okay, hold on, Tyler. You gotta phrase that better. She had been researching a true crime story about a serial killer named the Golden State Killer that was never caught. She didn't.
Yeah, it's been the talk of the town in the jail cells.
She passed away before her book was finished. So Patton and I believe another writer finished it for her after her death, and they finally caught the killer. I believe in part to her book. I'm not sure on that. But yeah, no, that's really cool, and I think that's awesome.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
on her.
Tyler, you absolutely had Mason think that they found the person that killed her.
No.
Was she murdered? Like
No,
what,
she passed away in her sleep.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was an accidental.
I feel bad. I didn't know if those two things were connected somehow.
No.
I mean, that's great that
Like-
they were able to find the killer. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Absolutely.
CinemaCon just happened, I believe, this past week.
What is that?
Well, it's like a movie convention, and Disney rolled out a bunch of footage of its live-action adaptations of its animated film. So the attendees got to see things from the live-action Lion King, the live-action Aladdin, and the live-action
Not
Dumbo.
live action if it's all CGI.
Well, I believe Dumbo and Aladdin are live-action. Lion King is more
No, I'm
motion
talking about
capture.
the Lion
like,
King.
yeah.
I'm talking about the Lion King specifically. That just pisses me.
That is my mistake. Out of the three of those, which are you most excited to see? Or which do you dread the least?
Aladdin.
Mason?
I think I dread Aladdin the least because at least there's people involved heavily.
I wasn't excited to see Dumbo, but now that I found out the two leads are Danny DeVito and Colin Farrell.
Yeah, and Keaton's in there too.
Yeah, Michael Keaton is involved.
Is he really?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
From what it looks like, I don't think it's going to be necessarily a beat-for-beat adaptation of the animated film in the same way
Yeah.
Jungle Book was. It's more about Colin Farrell and Danny DeVito trying to
Jungle Book
protect
was in-
Dumbo.
Jungle Book was not a direct adaptation.
Not a directed adaptation, but
It's pretty.
it adheres to
pretty.
the plot of the movie, which
Yeah.
adheres to the plot of the book, and blah blah blah. But like, it's the same story from the same perspective.
Back to back though is you'll see differences.
Oh.
But I see your point. Yeah, honestly, I agree. I'm interested in Dumbo. Dumbo is
Mhm.
very near and dear to my heart, but I think the cast is really interesting, and the fact that
Looking
it's
up
Burton.
the cast, I don't remember any of these people in the animated one.
Right.
Alan Arkin plays a Wall Street tycoon.
Yeah, there's
In the
no.
animated?
Colin Farrell is a war
Oh,
veteran.
no, in the live
Who
action.
plays the little mouse?
I don't
Timothy.
think I don't.
They're
I don't
gonna
think he's-
omit Timothy.
I don't know if he's going to be in the movie. Also, I don't know if you've seen any images of Dumbo though. He looks like
So is this
the
just
stuff
the
of
Greatest
nightmares.
Showman remake? And oh look, there's elephants in the background.
No,
Terrible.
it really does.
Oy.
I think
Yeah.
he's fine.
I mean,
Honestly,
Tim
I'm not-
Burton's hit nothing but home runs these past few years. I'm sure it'll
Well,
be great.
Hey,
Well.
I liked Big Eyes and Frankenweenie quite a bit actually.
And
I liked
I
Big
kind of
Eyes.
had a soft spot for Dark Shadows.
Oh God.
No,
Oh no. Oh.
Oh,
Oh no no no.
boy.
Oh, that hurts still. Like 6 years later, that hurts. That movie. Oh no.
Nah, I
Ooh.
thought it was fine.
That's.
I was in pain. No. Oh.
I mean, the trailers alone were terrible.
Yeah. I hope they give me the chair in here. Like, ooh. I can't go back.
All right, shall we move on to the theme of tonight?
Yes.
As I'm sure you've all seen by now, Infinity Wars came out this past weekend. Now, we're recording this on a Thursday night, so none of us have seen it.
People are watching it as we speak, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People with time to stand in lines for 4 hours.
Yep.
Nerds. Reserve seating, man. That's the way to go.
So, to stay on brand and hopefully have some people find us because Marvel will be in the tags,
My brand.
we decided to watch some terrible Marvel films.
It was pre-MCU days. These are all prior to, with maybe
Well,
one
not
exception.
mine. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure mine came out after Iron Man.
Just after Iron Man.
Yours
yeah.
did. Yeah, yours.
But
was yours.
all of them are not like part of the MCU, so you're not gonna see Ant-Man or Thor: The Dark World or Doctor Strange in here, anything like that.
Mm.
Nope.
But we are gonna talk about these films, and it's kind of a return to our original formula. So yes, I'm the Grandmaster. No.
Oh, speaking of which, real quick, did either of you watch that Grandmaster short that was on the Blu-ray?
No,
Yes.
I gotta watch it.
It's
so
great.
But with that being said, we're gonna just kind of go through. We all watch different films. So starting with Yaney, how was?
Oh, we're going chronologically.
Yeah, sure. We'll go chronologically.
Also, you might be getting the chair, so we have to, get your bit in while you're still alive.
Oh my gracious. Okay. Man, you kill one successful Canadian comedian, and then everyone loses their mind. Huh. Oh,
You're
real quick, who are you gonna replace me with? I just need to know before I go.
Well, no, actually, the deal no. Here's the thing. The deal we've worked out, since we were technically in the car with you, Martin Short's going to replace you, so he doesn't sue us.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He was begging to be on the show, so that's the deal you worked out.
Well, I mean, Mulaney got canceled, so he hasn't really had anything going on.
That is true. Okay. Well, let's talk about our first movie, 1989's The Punisher, starring Dolph Lundgren. And a little preamble here. I don't know diddly squat about The Punisher. I really don't. So I'm going to ask you both questions because I assume you've at least seen the Netflix series or know a thing.
I've not.
My only exposure to The Punisher is what he's in of season 2 of Daredevil and like the first 2 episodes of the Netflix show.
Okay.
And yeah, my only exposure is his parts in Daredevil and the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s. So proceed.
Well, it's still more than me because there's some questionable things. I'm like, was this in the comic? All right. Well, first, a little history. Roger Corman bought the rights to make Marvel movies in the late 80s. And Canon Films was going to make a Spider-Man movie.
Ooh.
In fact, if you search online, you can find an early teaser. It doesn't have any film footage because it never got off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But they would go to festivals and conventions and stuff and try to get people to invest in their movies. So they had a little Spider-Man trailer. So it's just him spinning around with the logo and a narration. So I thought that was kind of cool. But then Canon Films, I think around that time, was not Spider-Man 4, Superman 4 and Masters of the Universe bombed and they lost a ton. I think that was late 80s. Yeah, so the rights went...
I'm literally holding the VHS 2 Masters of the Universe right now.
I know Mason's a fanboy, and I am a big Canon Films fan, actually.
Yeah.
But
it was 1987 from what I'm seeing here on the box.
Okay, yeah, and Superman 4 came out around 87 and Punisher's 89, so the rights, Roger Corman's rights to the Marvel movies, he went to his company, New World Pictures, and for some reason, they decided that of all the properties they could do, they're going to make a Punisher movie.
Yeah, it's feasible.
And I'm like, maybe just because it was the cheapest, because he doesn't have superpowers as far as I can tell.
This is weird.
Because that's my question. I'm going to quote Mystery Men because I thought of it. I'm like, all right, so you wear a leather jacket and you have a gun? Like, what's the theme here? And I guess I don't, all I know is that he's got the skull on his outfit, and they couldn't even do that. He just wears a leather jacket and has dark hair and shoots people.
He doesn't even have a skull t-shirt or something?
No, he doesn't even have a Sid Phillips skull t-shirt.
My goodness.
And I'm like, that seems like the easiest thing you could have done. You could have gone to Walmart, gotten a gothic skull shirt and slapped it on. I mean, it's not that hard. My question is, this might have been just a generic action script, and they just slapped the Frank Castle backstory and made him a vigilante. Because it didn't really need to be a Punisher movie.
It's just one of those shoot 'em up films.
Yeah, no, it's just a generic 80s revenge film, and we'll get into that. So,
okay, something I've found that I feel like might explain why the film is the way it is. It's directed by a guy named Mark Goldblatt. He is not a director. He's an editor. So he's directed things recently like Chappie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
He didn't direct Chappie or Rise of the Planet.
No, I'm saying he's the editor. Yeah, he's the editor of The Terminator, Rambo Part 2,
crap.
Commando.
RoboCop! Oh, he was the second unit director, but still.
I said Rambo.
Huh?
I said the Terminator, then Rambo. Oh, Commando. That's what you heard.
Oh, no. I'm looking it up, and he
Oh.
was the second unit director on RoboCop.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
He was the editor
directed,
of Terminator 2, Predator 2, Super Mario
Super
Brothers.
Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah. Showgirls.
Showgirls. He edited Showgirls.
Armageddon, Starship Troopers,
I love this guy.
Pearl Harbor.
Oh, he did the SpongeBob movie.
He did additional editing on the SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water movie, G-Force.
Oh.
So, yeah, this guy directed 3 films: Dead Heat, The Punisher, and then an episode of a TV series called Erie, Indiana.
I know Erie, Indiana.
I'm sure you do.
Oh.
He's not a director, to say the least. As an editor, do you feel like the film was well paced or well edited, or?
I mean, we'll get to that. It was fine.
All right, continue on.
It's fine. All right, so we'll just get to the plot. So, as far as I could tell, mobsters killed his family,
Yep.
and Frank Castle was a cop, and he's presumed to be dead too. So instead, he lives in the sewers
What?
with his friend and his sidekick, who's an out-of-work thespian alcoholic actor who speaks entirely in rhyme.
Interesting.
What's his
Is
name?
this part of the comic?
No.
His family being killed is, but he does not live in the sewer, and he does not have a thespian actor partner.
It's the weirdest thing. Like, he doesn't speak in rhyme the whole movie, but for a good majority, he's speaking in rhyme, and I'm like...
Traditionally, the Punisher does have a sidekick.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is his sidekick's name? I'm trying to
It's
look
something tech related.
Yeah, he has like a tech guy. Isn't he played by Al of Al's Toy Barn in one of the...
Oh, Wayne Knight?
I feel like Wayne Knight...
No.
No.
No, I think John Panette in one film.
Yeah, but he's not
Who?
one of
John
Mason's
he was-
favorite comedians.
Yeah.
Interesting. So anyways, the basic plot, and it's pretty basic shooting up, is there's a bunch of mob families in this area.
Micro.
That's it. Yep.
Micro Machine? The Micro Machine guy was his partner?
No, Micro is the character's name.
He might have been rhyming. I don't know. He talks too fast. So there's a bunch of these mob bosses and mob families in some kind of New York City. So this one guy finally gets out of prison, and he's like, I'm going to unite them all. But then this Asian mafia lady named Tanaka says, no, I want control. And they're like, no. So she kidnaps all the mob bosses' children and holds them hostage in order to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
So the Punisher is recruited by the mob.
The mob that killed his family?
Yeah, which is weird. To go rescue these children. Which reminded me, at one point he steals a school bus to go rescue the children. And then after he sets them free through an action sequence, they all board the bus and he's driving it. And I'm like, this would be an excellent sequel to Taxi Driver. I'd watch a Punisher film where he was a school bus driver.
Well, that's just his job afterward. Get on, kids!
Like a Magic School Bus reboot, but with Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a pretty generic shoot 'em up action film, and after he frees all the kids, it's like hand to hand with the actual mob. He's defeated the mob lady, but now it's hand to hand combat between the lead mob boss who he was working for like a second ago.
Well, kids, here's the good news. The good news is you're saved. The bad news is you're all orphans now.
Essentially, no, yeah.
So really quick as an update, it was Wayne Knight that played Micro in 2008's Punisher Warzone.
How many
Panette
Punisher
was
movies have
in-
there been?
I think
It's a lot.
3. And then 2004's Punisher actually did not have Micro, but John Panette was in that
Yeah.
as Bumpo.
Oh, of course. The classic character of Bumpo.
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 Bopping is
Bob.
Boppo.
Yeah.
So, I didn't hate this movie. We'll start
Okay.
off with that. As I've seen plenty of like canon films level 80s B movies, and this was just one of them.
Hmm.
And it pains me to say, but I think out of all the early like 80s and 90s Marvel movies up until like Blade, this was probably the best.
Well, like what came before it? Howard the Duck, the live action
Howard
Captain
the
America
Duck.
movie.
Captain America.
You got the Fantastic Four that was never released.
Oh yeah.
I think he got some like made for TV like Incredible Hulk movies.
Yeah, where he teamed up with like
yeah.
Thor. I think Iron Man was in one of them.
I do respect that they kept the Punisher movie I watched R-rated.
Oh.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I was
there's
like,
never not been a Punisher film that isn't R-rated. Yeah, they're all R-rated.
That's true, but everyone's making a big deal.
Eat your heart out, Deadpool.
Yeah, Logan and Deadpool like, ooh, an R-rated superhero movie, and I'm like, there's Watchmen, there's those terrible Punisher movies, there's Kick-Ass. Can I say Kick-Ass on this podcast unedited?
It's the title. I'll allow it.
So I can't say. I just want to put this in the.
No,
brackets. I can't
stop.
say, I
Let's
would like
not.
to-
Let's not this.
Would you like to-
Mason's going to have to censor it. Oh boy. All right.
Anyways, I'll just tell, because the movie's kind of dull. I'll just tell you some interesting kills I kept track of.
By all means.
Number 1, the Punisher shoots a zip line into a man's head into a wall and then proceeds to use the zip line. That was cool.
That's very canon.
Number 2, the Punisher is driving the bus and a bunch of like the windshield is completely shot out. So he runs into a car and the guy who was standing on top of the car is now in the bus.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's an interesting way to continue the fight. You run a guy over with your car and he ends up inside. So that was interesting.
How'd I get here?
And finally,
Stop
the
the
end
bus.
battle.
I'd like to get off.
Oh, actually, when he steals the bus, there's a bum asleep on it, and he actually does make the stop. And I'm like, good guy, Punisher, in the middle of a chase scene. and the final interesting kill is the final sequence takes place in like this dojo. With, like the Asiatic paper walls, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like in the background, people be like flying through these walls while the main battle's going on, and I was very amused by that. I'm like, that's like a Naked Gun gag, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They're just tearing up the scenery in the back. It's good. Anyways, that's the movie. I really don't have anything funny or interesting to say about it.
I think you've said enough.
It didn't cost me a thing. Other than a couple of failed searches, possibly a Trojan horse on my work computer, but that's a different story.
All right, Mace, tell us about David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury.
So, just to kind of paint a bit of a picture, I woke up at 6 a.m. today to watch this film.
Why?
Because I've been busy and I didn't have time, during the day because I was at work. So I woke up early to watch this. Yeah, this is an interesting little thing. When I tell you that there's a made-for-TV movie about S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nick Fury from 1998 starring David Hasselhoff, picture that in your mind for a minute. You have just watched Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It is pretty much exactly what you expect it to be.
Well, alrighty then.
A lot of flashy gunshots, but no blood or bullets seen.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, then you lied to me. You just said whatever I imagined was the movie.
No. Yeah, I meant no blood or bullet or anything like that.
No more bullets?
No more bullets.
Hey, laughing boy, no more bullets.
I heard him. Anyway, yeah, so it starts off in a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, the dead corpse of Baron von Strucker, who is actually, a villain in the comics, isn't
he the guy at the beginning of Ultron?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
So his body is stolen,
His
And-
body is stolen.
Yeah, his body's in a cryogenic freeze, and it's
Interesting.
taken.
Okay.
Yeah, to which point I'm like, oh, where's this going?
Nowhere
so-
interesting, I'm sure.
Yeah, actually not. So they send two people out to fetch
Oh, wait,
good old.
what do you mean 2 guys or 2 people? Is it 2 guys or is it not?
It's a guy and a girl.
Okay.
It's 2018. I gotta,
I see you just
Gotta
tried to
use the
shorten
correct
that. I just
pronouns
made it
here.
incredibly
Yeah,
longer.
pronoun
Yeah, we're all
king.
about them pronouns.
Pronoun trouble. Anyway, so they go out to the Yukon to find
Yukon
Nick
Cornelius?
Fury. No, Nick Fury, played by the Hoff, who is playing this at a 12 out of 10. He is way over the top. Like
Good for Hoff.
No one told him he can't win an Oscar for a made-for-TV movie.
he's smoking his cigar with his
He's
eye
got
patch.
6 years till the SpongeBob movie. He's got to do something.
Yeah,
I
he's got to
respect
do
that.
something. So, there's a young agent who honestly reminds me of you, Lakaitis, except he's British.
I
he's-
want to see British Lakaitis.
Yeah, but the thing is, his name is Alexander Pierce.
Why, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I know that name.
Yes,
From Winter Soldier. That's
Yeah,
Robert Redford's character.
Oh my
Robert
gosh.
Redford's character. Yeah,
I
But
didn't
he's
know
a
that was an
young
actual comic
British-
book character.
yeah. Oh no, yeah, it is. So,
That is why you failed.
he goes, Colonel Fury, they're requesting you back in action. And Fury just Hoff just loses it. He's like, maybe you didn't hear. After the Cold War, they put me out to pasture. He's like trying to do John Wayne. It's kind of weird.
He's just trying to do John Wayne from the one John Wayne movie where he wears an eye patch.
That's True Grit, you moron.
I'm sorry, I don't have
That's
every
like
movie
the John
title
Wayne
just
movie.
ready to go.
But yeah, he's just whatever. The other agent shows up, and it's this woman that he was close with prior. So he's like, "Oh, I guess I'll join you."
My.
Fury's
It's actually
back
just
in
Alexander in a wig.
action. So they
Mr.
go,
Fury,
and
we
then it-
need you back
Wait a
in the
minute,
field.
wait a minute. Then it cuts to the helicarrier. Now, you guys know what the helicarrier looks like now in the Marvel movies, right?
Yeah, and in Deadpool.
Yes, and in Deadpool. But it cuts to the helicarrier here, and it is literally a sea carrier with these long metal arms sticking down with these enormous rockets sticking to the bottom of it. It is so
That's
stupid.
tremendous.
It's so stupid. And then the entire inside looks like you're just in like a boiler room.
I'm trying to find a picture of it. I want to be able to see what this looks like. Oh my gosh.
So come to find out, before he died, Von Strucker came up with this virus with the help of Dr. Arnim Zola.
I know who that is.
Exactly.
That's my
And
favorite little fat British actor.
Do they put him in the wacky suit?
No, they don't. He's an old man. He's an old man in a wheelchair.
Hold on, I'm looking at the photo. Oh my gosh. Oh, great.
It looks like if you put rockets on an AT-AT walker,
Again,
Yes.
it's like the Naked Gun did a parody of the event.
Yes.
right?
They look like Acme rockets.
Which is like, no one's gonna believe a flying helicarrier. We got to make this look realistic and put big rockets on it.
I can be taller.
Got to get that Stark Tech up in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, he created this virus, and apparently it was Fury's his final mission, in which Strucker took his eye, but made it so that the virus backfired on Strucker, and they
Is it a
destroyed-
computer virus or like a
it's an actual chemical virus.
Okay.
And they were able to eradicate the virus from the earth before it was able to spread. The only place it still exists is in Strucker's body. That's why they had him on ice. Hydra stole the body so that they could get the virus back from his body and
What?
weaponize it.
Interesting.
How?
It is interesting. I'm like,
Oh.
all right.
I'm sure
Huh.
it hasn't thrown me yet. Like, this actually legitimately sounds interesting. Like, I can't believe they're actually using Marvel characters and not just
Oh, yeah.
Nick Fury and just, like, you know,
That's it.
making up characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my
So-
movie.
So the this new Hydra is led by his daughter,
Oh, I
Who's
thought you said his
Strucker's
dog
daughter?
Strucker's daughter, and his son Werner. I forget his daughter's name specifically because they actually turn his daughter into another villain, Viper or Madam Hydra.
I'm not familiar with that.
I think I've heard of her, but
You
I-
both
I-
have seen her because they kind of adapted her into that weird doctor lady from Wolverine in Japan.
Oh.
Yes.
That's the Viper chick,
Yeah.
and she had the weird tongue.
Yeah. Well, no, not in this.
That's Toad from the first X-Men.
Anyway, she sneaks in, pretends she's someone else, kisses Fury. He gets poisoned. He's like,
You're not
slowly-
Alexander in a wig.
He has like 48 hours to live. They get the virus and weaponize
Wow.
it, and they say, "All right, listen, you give us $1 billion, or we're gonna fire."
$1 billion.
And remember, this is 1998, or we're going to fire these weaponized missiles with the virus at the Twin Towers.
Oh,
Oh
my
gosh.
gosh.
No, no,
Are
no,
you
no, no,
serious?
Yeah.
Oh no, no, no.
I'm
no,
watching
no,
it and I'm like,
no.
oh.
my gosh. Oh,
They
my
say
Seriously?
Manhattan, they're gonna fire at
Well,
Manhattan.
good night,
but-
everybody. This has been the episode.
No wonder you had trouble finding a copy of this.
No, no. Honestly, it was pretty easy. But
This doesn't make for good audio, but I'm just sitting here with my mouth hanging open. Are you serious?
yeah, they say they're gonna fire on Manhattan, but it's like right down the barrel at the towers. I'm like, oh, jeez.
Oh.
No.
So anyway, this is the point where it kind of loses me because then it just
Okay.
kind of becomes procedural.
It just suddenly turns into a
shit.
courtroom drama.
Yeah. It's like the beginning of the episode. But yeah,
See, it all
so
comes around.
two of the agents have to
Patton
go.
Oswalt, voices
Well,
a talking dog.
Two of the agents have to go around New York City and try and find the truck that the virus is in, and they do that. Then Nick and Alexander Pierce and this psychic lady.
Where'd the psychic lady come from?
Apparently, it's like their new superpowered division, but that's it. That's their psychic
They're
division.
really bringing in the popular ones, like Psychic Lady.
Yeah, I know. I honestly don't know who she was, but anyway.
Psychic lady and snaky girl.
He's slowly dying, but they're trying to find. They find like an island in the Pacific where where she's hiding, and they go through and fight their way to her, and the other people in New York find the missiles and get the disarm code set up, and he's trying to figure out what the code is from her. Keep in mind, there's another thing that gets thrown in here that's completely useless. Life
Okay.
model decoy.
What?
Of Hoff.
There
There's
are
like a
two
whole-
Nick Furies?
There are, like,
Now there are
great.
two of them. This is getting
she
ridiculous.
shoots Fury. He dies on the floor, and then she turns around and he's there. He's like, life.
Fooled you.
Wait,
You've reached the life model decoy of Tony Stark. Yeah, so anyway,
wait. So it wasn't like an evil clone? It was just like
No, it
was
was
he
made by
only in
S.H.I.E.L.D.
that scene?
no, they preface it like at the beginning when he gets back to S.H.I.E.L.D. and says they go through. Oh, by the way, the commander right now is Dum Dum Dugan.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
You mentioned he was in the movie. I was wondering how he'd factor in.
Yeah, but he's not Dum Dum. They just call him Dugan, and he looks nothing like he just looks like an old white man.
Okay, well,
As Dum Dum Dugan does.
I mean, if you were the head of a secret organization, would you really want people addressing you as Dum Dum?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
I like Dum Dum Dugan. He's so cool.
Right, no, but I'm saying, like,
Neil
he
McDonough?
himself would not want to be called Dum Dum. He would
Oh,
prefer
well,
Dugan.
that's true.
That what gum.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah, so when he shows up at S.H.I.E.L.D., they've, like, already have this life model decoy of him. Just
Like, is that a robot?
Yeah. It's
Look,
like,
we asked
so...
him to do it, but we can't figure out how to make him work.
But
Alexander
anyway, yeah,
just
so
can't work on him.
they
The
get the
charms
psych-
aren't there.
they get the psychic lady to, like, hone in on her and get the code. And,
Not psychic, lady.
yeah. And the Viper, like, tries to think of the wrong code. So at the last second, they're going to put in the wrong number.
Oh,
and
boy.
they see her
I'm
smiling.
the window viper. I vipe the windows.
They see her smiling, and Nick goes like, "No, it's 6, not 9." Like, it's so over the top. But then they put in the right code, and he gets healed. But then at the last second, Viper and
The winners vipe the history books.
Viper jumps into, like, the case that her dad's body is in, and the floor drops out, and they escape.
Setting up for Nick Fury 2.
Yeah, because they brought him back to life at the very end. He's alive
Too
again.
Fast, Too Furies.
And then
That's
it's revealed that Nick Fury has a black son played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Which is what happened in the comics. That's how they switched from a white Nick Fury to a black Nick Fury.
Are you kidding me?
That's great.
Yeah, that's technically what happened.
Cool.
Because, like, the original Nick Fury's, like, now a watcher or something, or he's trapped on the moon. I don't know, it's weird.
How could he get trapped on the moon? This seems like a pretty easy drive for someone like Iron Man.
Don't ask me to explain it, man. It's comics.
I don't gotta explain nothing.
Speaking of not explaining anything, I think that should bring us nicely into our final film.
X-Men Origins Wolverine
Yes!
was meant to
Yes!
kick off a series of X-Men Origins films. In fact, practically killed the X-Men series as a whole. Look, honestly, everyone that's ever done bad movies has talked about this film at one point or another. So I don't need to go over the plot. I want to bring up things that I feel like I've never heard anyone else talk about this movie.
Okay.
I legitimately believe that if this movie was made today by Marvel, not necessarily an X-Men movie, but like the bones of this movie have a lot of potential, and they're like, on paper, this movie is everything I want from comic book movies, where it's not just a single superhero. There are actually lots of superheroes and some little ones that, like, you don't even know about, but they're fun references, and like it's just X-Men Origins Wolverine has a lot of characters, and that's really fun. But they don't use any of them well at all. Like, we have Gambit in this. We have the Blob.
Did you just call me Blob?
Whoever William from the Black Eyed Peas is playing.
We're hunting our own kind, Logan. I got impressions for everybody. I love this movie.
Mary or Pippin from the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, I don't got nothing there. Okay, I just have 2 impressions.
Deadpool.
What a tragedy.
Cyclops. Emma Frost. Maybe they never call her Emma. CGI Patrick Stewart.
Oh, he looks so bad.
He really does. I think he looks better de-aged in The Last Stand than he does in this.
Yeah, and that was 3 years before. It's embarrassing.
So yeah, I think on paper this movie could have been good, but everything else in it is that's what I'm saying. Like, that kind of structure, the characters, I like that in comic book movies. Like, that's what, like, I was going to talk about this later, but like, I think all the Marvel movies going forward shouldn't just be a Thor or a Captain America movie. They should be multiple characters in one film.
I agree with that.
And that can allow you to invite more, like a wider array of characters.
Exactly, and that's what I think this movie could have done. It just doesn't do it well.
I think it would be great if, honestly, if in the future, just kind of as a side note, I think like a great film might be a crossover, like a Doctor Strange 2, but with Blade.
Sure.
I would love that.
I mean,
They've been talking to John Boyega.
if
Probably
he
not
survives
about
Infinity
No.
War, we don't know at this point.
That's true.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Oh my
The
gracious.
the opening of this film is really weird, and I don't mean the war shots going through wars, but like just like Wolverine kills his dad, and him and his brother decide to run away, but we don't know who these characters are other than that's Wolverine, and like we don't know what the relationship is at all. And like Sabretooth is supposed to be this sympathetic character that we kind of want to see them, but like we literally see him almost rape a woman in Vietnam. Sabretooth is supposed to be this sympathetic character, but they just throw in these things that ruin him. And he's a much better interpretation of the character. Like I like that actor. I like
Liev Schreiber, he's great.
yeah,
Much better than the Sabretooth in the first movie.
Absolutely. That's the one. No, the Sabretooth in X-Men has no character.
Yeah, but he looks awesome.
He's Monster Man.
This movie never establishes the time period that it's in, and it's really weird.
It's
Like-
in lots of time periods, silly.
But so the last time jump we have is we see Wolverine not liking Vietnam, and he leaves Task Force X. And like this film maybe takes place like within 5 years of Vietnam, so it's like 78, but the technology is a lot better, and it's so weird. Like there's no consistency to the time
It's
period.
almost like nobody cared.
Well, wait. No, the whole battle on the third act is 3 Mile Island.
Okay.
And there was a radiation accident on 3 Mile Island in 1979. So if most people know that, I don't know, by cultural
why
osmosis,
would people know what 3 Mile Island is? I've never heard of it.
Because it was a big catastrophe. It was nuclear.
They don't even call it 3 Mile Island.
I think they do.
No. Nope.
I thought they did.
No, they just call it an island, and then when they make it look like when they're going to the island, when Gambit is flying, there's no reason for these characters to be in these films, but Gambit is flying Wolverine in his little prop plane, and it looks like this island's in the middle of nowhere, but at the end of the film they pull out, and it's like, oh, it was just in a lake. It's more of a peninsula, really, too, because there's a bridge, and no, it's an island. But that didn't make any sense. I loved Sabretooth just screaming Jimmy as angry as he could.
Jimmy!
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 We're brothers, Jimmy!
Time to come down!
I really wish they didn't call it Logan. They just called it Jimmy instead.
I'm going to see Jimmy. It is an R-rated superhero film.
Also, I don't understand, just randomly halfway through the movie, they start calling him Logan. And I don't understand why. There's no reason. We don't know why he's called Logan. Like, Jimmy is his name. Sure. Is he Jimmy Logan?
No, I know how. You didn't hear it?
No.
Bad screenwriting.
Yeah, that is one thing that I was always like, wait, where did that come from then?
Also,
where does he get the name Wolverine?
It is his Christian name.
The story that his wife tells him.
That's about wolves.
No,
Big bad
no,
wolves.
Yeah, it's why wolves howl at the moon.
no, it's a Wolverine. It's a
Wolverines don't
Wolverine.
howl at the moon.
You don't
He's
know.
right.
When's the last time
True.
you watched a Wolverine?
The weird thing is, Sabretooth, okay, so when Wolverine realizes that Sabretooth is here to kill his wife, he finds, I think, a Wolverine head near the logging site, because the lumberjack site.
Are Wolverines little rats?
No, they're bigger rats.
More like ROUSs.
Yeah. Also, okay, speaking of Sabretooth killing his wife, would you say they fridged the wife in this movie?
Oh, big time.
Fridge the wife?
It's a comic. Well, it's really a term when the female character only exists to be killed to make the hero character go on his quest.
Oh.
Revenge.
It comes from a Green Lantern comic book where they introduced a girlfriend for Green Lantern only to have her killed a couple issues in by being stuffed in a fridge.
That's very dark, especially for Green Lantern.
It's a family comic.
So dark.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's not part of the DC universe?
Zack Snyder would love to direct that thing.
Like, I know she comes back to life. You know, like, she wasn't actually dead. It was all set up. But, like, that's really the only purpose she serves in the movie is to make Wolverine want to become Wolverine.
Hey, I think I know
She's
why.
about
literally, like, the
Obi-Wan?
only
What about-
female character.
What about
In the movie.
Obi-Wan?
Luke
Obi-Wan
wasn't in
is-
love with Obi-Wan.
Exposition and death.
Well, he also trains Luke. He gets him going.
Exposition.
He throws balls around and then dies. Come on.
No. Obi-Wan is not fridged. Obi-Wan serves a purpose. He is the one going on the mission at first. He trains Luke. He brings Luke into the group. He finds Han Solo. Like, Obi-Wan does things in that movie. The only thing, whatever the character's name is, Kayla Silverfox does is she tells him a story and then dies.
A decade, and I remember it better than you.
I hate this movie thoroughly, and when it comes down to it,
I
I
thought it was
definitely lost
hilarious.
this week.
I think you watched it wrong. Like, there were
No.
several moments when I was watching it last year when I had my X-Men marathon when Logan came out, where I was just on the floor. I think it's.
Oh no, it's very funny.
It's a tremendous failure.
Oh, what they do with Deadpool, you know, I laugh out loud.
Yeah,
Just
but
I do
no,
random-
Don't you like him in
sad-
the opening though?
Oh yeah, no, when he's Wade
Oh,
Wilson,
he's classic
he's great.
Wade in the opening. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. One of the things that I found the funniest is, you know how Cyclops has to wear those glasses to stop the laser beams?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what Weapon X does is, just, you know, slap some cloth over his eyes and a metal thing, and yeah, it'll be fine. He won't give us any more trouble.
Huh.
That he can just take off with his hands at any time to maybe blow up some of our own guards. It'll be fine.
Can we talk about
Yeah.
the effects in the movie?
Oh.
Everything is just terrible green screen. Also, isn't it weird that Wolverine just ends up on Ma and Pa Kent's farm?
Yeah.
They almost adopted him until he destroyed their bathroom.
Yeah.
Superman's going to be angry when he comes home and finds his parents just blown up and his favorite leather jacket just gone.
Yeah. Well, I thought they were like, for the longest time, I thought they were alluding to that, like, the jacket and the bike being someone's, you know, that was important.
No.
But
No. It's just, this was my son used to have this jacket, but he's dead to me now. Here, you have it. Random nude stranger.
He was naked, wasn't he?
yeah, she
At one
was.
point, yes.
Naked as a jaybird, running through the forest.
Yes.
Oodalali,
Anyway,
oodalali,
shall
golly, what a
we
day.
move on?
Huh? What?
Shall we move on?
Sure.
I don't want to talk about this movie anymore.
What an uneventful screening we had. Well, let's see.
I definitely lost this episode. I hold that adamantly.
It's really a draw between me and Mason. His sounds more entertaining than mine, but I think mine was better made.
Yeah, I think I got away with it.
All right, I won. Yippee!
Sounds
What
good.
has it wrought?
But at what
So-
cost?
We do have some Infinity War related questions. Although we, so as to not wait another 2 weeks to be able to talk about Infinity War, we're going to release a mini bonus episode of Artificial Entertainment where we just kind of, where we talk about it for about half an hour or so. Just,
Yep.
you know, that way our opinions aren't out of date. We do have one question from a fan, our favorite fan, Chad.
Chad! We love you, Chad!
He asked on Twitter, in light of the next episode being in honor of Infinity War, what direction do each of you hope they take the MCU following the clash with Thanos?
Yeah.
And who are you secretly hoping will get knocked off? Direction-wise, I touched on this earlier. I really just want films with bigger casts, with with a main superhero and then maybe minor superheroes that would never get their own film, but we get to see
Did you say
in the
bigger
cinematic
cats?
universe. Yes, Tyler, I want bigger cats.
That was
Context clues.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
been another context.
I'm not looking for these films to improve. These are literally just comic books that are on the movie screen. I don't think they're real movies. They're just fun popcorn films.
Wait, the MCU?
Yeah.
Oh. I agree with that, although I hold I would still say the first Guardians is one of my favorite movies of the decade, just because that was it was one of the freshest and most original blockbusters I've
Totally.
seen sometime.
Right, but yeah, and I guess it's technically a superhero film, but Guardians is such its own thing.
And that's why it's great. Because I think I was around that time was suffering from Marvel fatigue. Because
Absolutely.
After Avengers was this whole big huge thing, we got Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World. And it's like, shoot, it's gonna be this.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Until the next Avengers. And then Winter Soldier and Guardians came out. I'm like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah. I definitely think Phase 3 is my favorite of the Marvel phases just because it's more bombastic. There are more crossovers.
I can't remember the separation. I'd have to look it up.
Basically, everything since Civil War has been Phase 3.
I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Mason, where do you want the Marvel films to go after Infinity War?
I would love to see more team ups to bring in new characters. But while a lot of people are saying let's go cosmic, I want more Earthbound to really see how everything can develop. It's a big world out there with a lot of characters that we can play with, especially
great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Yeah, and honestly, should the Fox merger go through, you're going to have a much wider range of characters you can play with. The toy box is much bigger. So let's take some characters we already have. Let's take some new characters. Let's do Doctor Strange and or you know what? No. Let's do Blade and Spider-Man taking on Morbius. Let's do let's do an amazing Iron Man and Doctor Strange team up to take on the real Mandarin. Let's do
I'd buy
these
that
things.
for $1.
Yeah.
I don't want to see more world-ending plots. More
Absolutely.
Yeah, down to earth.
Yeah.
Not crime, but
I'm fine with, the cosmic stuff. I'm psyched about Guardians 3 when that happens. Every once in a while, but I don't want just space. I would love to do some world building here. And some fun team ups and build the cast some more.
Yeah. Tyler, where do you want to see this MCU go?
Well, if I was James Cameron, I would want to see it go away. Because, I would rather watch 6 Avatar movies every year. So
Exactly.
That's fine. I like that the last 2, well, I guess not the last 2, but Ragnarok and Homecoming really played up the universe instead of like, here's your self-contained movie. Derp, 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 derp.
Exactly.
Because that was my problem with when Phase 2 started. It's like, oh, here's this big world-changing event. And it's just Thor taking it on. Alrighty.
Yeah.
What do I want to... You see, I can't really answer that. I think this would be an interesting follow-up question on Monday. Like, after seeing the movie, where would we want it to go? Because right now, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. Then let's follow it up after we see it. I think that'd be interesting.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm sorry, really quick. Another thing I would also like to explore, possibly different time periods. There's some gaps in time that we could definitely play with.
Which they're doing with Captain Marvel.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to the 90s.
But I wouldn't mind seeing some stuff in the 60s, 50s, maybe even revisiting World War II. I'd be open to that and possibly even further back. But it's definitely some options there.
Do you remember when they didn't know what the MCU was going to be and they were asking, what do you think the sequel to Captain America will be? And the director's like, well, there's that whole montage in the middle of the film. Maybe we can stick a film somewhere in there.
Oh. I love you, Joe Johnson, but oh.
Yeah, that would just looking back, that would have never worked. That would
What
have
if
created
what if
such
we
a
gave
different thing.
Kappa a rocket pack, like a jet pack, and we go back
Be
to
careful. Tread carefully, Mr. Yaney.
I don't particularly want any of the characters to be knocked off in Infinity War. Maybe Doctor Strange, I think.
Oh yeah, because he just had a movie and was announced a sequel. They'll knock him off.
Well, no, they haven't really confirmed a sequel, but
I thought they did. It might be.
yeah.
Right.
I'd love to see Quicksilver die again. I think that'd be fun.
Which guy?
Quicksilver? I'd love to see Quicksilver die again.
Oh, I mean, you could just play the DVD again. Watch it as many
There
times
you go.
as you like. One thing I would like to do away with is like taking a whole movie for an origin story, and that's one thing I liked about Black Panther. Like through Ultron and Civil War, they just sprinkled the mythology and the character in there, so you got everything. So you can just go in.
Exactly. Which is why I don't think we're going to see the X-Men show up in this cinematic universe. Because mutants and everything, that's such an established thing. Like, you can't
they'd have to switch up the timeline to make that work.
Not necessarily. There are ways you can make that
you
work.
can't just say this has always existed and we've never heard about it up to this
Exactly.
point.
That'd be like, well.
And then it's like if these two dimensions merged, that'd be so.
Okay.
I feel like that'd be so far fetched. Like these movies, technically, like I could see them happening in our world, but
Well,
like
they already retconned X-Men once. Now we would have to do it again.
Mace, you had a Marvel-related question you wanted to pose.
I have one too.
Wait. Who do we want to die?
Oh, do you guys have anyone? I know Tyler can't
no.
talk about this because he had something
can't.
spoiled.
No, I don't know. I don't know if anyone dies or not. I don't know that. I just know a minor spoiler by accident that I can't tell.
I want to know what that is, but we'll talk about it Monday.
We will on Monday. I will happily tell you that whole story because it's actually interesting, and I'm kicking myself that it happened. But yeah.
Do you guys have characters?
At a minimum, I would like Loki to die.
Oh,
I think that's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think that'll happen.
Yeah.
I hope not, because Tom Hiddleston's such a joy.
He is,
but like his story wraps up so well.
His arc has come and I felt he was done a disservice in Ragnarok. I feel like he didn't get enough.
I don't. I thought he was done the best. There's an interesting video on YouTube on the channel Nando V Films, and he talks about that Loki's sacrifice in Thor: The Dark World would be so much stronger if Loki actually died in the Dark World and a Skrull took his place. Because then that actually makes Loki's sacrifice worth it. It's a better arc for the character than dragging him out into Ragnarok. And it starts to introduce characters as Skrulls.
That's
the
interesting.
Elder Scrolls? I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anyone I would like. I think it's kind of sadistic if I wanted someone to die.
Yeah, like I like all these characters enough where I don't want them to go.
I don't want anybody to die, but like
if like Rhodey or Falcon gets it up.
Like, I mean, going into Ultron, we all thought Hawkeye was going to be the one to bite it, but then they introduced a family and like, oh, this character actually has depth now.
If Hawkeye is actually in the film, because I haven't seen him I haven't seen him or Ant-Man anywhere, so I don't actually know if they're going to be in the movie. But if Hawkeye got the axe, I'd be like, yeah.
Okay, we don't have much more time, so
I have a question. If I
okay.
may. Let's talk about our top 5 MCU films real quick, and then try to debate our candidate for which is the worst and why.
Okay.
Go for it.
You want me to go first?
Yes, because I have to pull up my letterbox to see my ranking.
All right, top 5, real simple. We'll go in reverse. Number 5 is Ragnarok, because I think it's hilarious, and you guys need to see that commentary, by the way. Taika Waititi is.
Oh, I want to so bad.
It's amazing. I think I was a little bit hard on it when we reviewed it, but the more I watch it, the more I love it, and you just kind of forgive that it doesn't take itself seriously, and that's fine. Number 4, Civil War. To date, my favorite Avengers, I guess, ish film, just because the other two have some problems, but what I like about it is it's got a clear main character and a clear conflict, but everyone still gets their own screen time.
Yeah.
and you don't feel cheated out of it. And the end with Tony trying to beat the crap out of Bucky is so emotionally raw. I love it. The airport battle's great. How they put Spidey and Black Panther into the story doesn't feel shoehorned, which was something I was worried about when I heard about that. But it's natural.
They introduce him very nicely.
Yeah. Number 3 is Iron Man, because I love it. It was my favorite for a very long time, and it's definitely the most grounded of the movies.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like about it that I kind of miss, is they took the time to explain the tech and show him experimenting and actually creating it. Now it just looks like he just whips up suits.
Yeah, and it's a really good standalone film. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, I really I don't. It's not in my top 5 for MCU films, but it doesn't feel like an MCU film. It's much more grounded, and I do hold it as one of the best superhero movies ever made.
It's amazing. No, yeah. It's great. The whole... And what else sucks about that is he has an arc, no pun intended, in the first movie, and then they kind of retcon it in the movies.
They do that Emperor Cusco thing where, like, oh, this character isn't
Absolutely.
interesting if he isn't a jerk, so we gotta keep him a jerk.
But they've kind of fixed that a little bit, because now his narcissism is like, I can save everybody and I have to.
Yeah.
And I like that. So
Yeah.
that gets a pass. But like Iron Man 2, Avengers 1 was a bit rough. Number 1 and 2, both Guardians. I love them. I adore them. I've seen them multiple times. So yeah, it's me top 5. What about you two?
For me, now I'm not saying these are what I think the best, but I just legitimately have fun watching them.
Okay.
My number 5 is Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Ew. But okay.
It's I think it's just as fun as the first one with more comic booky elements.
It's fine.
Number 4 is Captain America: The First Avenger.
It's a lot of fun. It's very
It's so
underrated.
much fun. It's so campy. Stanley Tucci's in it, so I'm happy.
Yes, he is.
What am I doing? You can't
Man-
drink. You have procedure tomorrow. Oh, I guess we'll drink after? What are you talking about? I drink now. I have no procedure tomorrow.
And that song in the middle is so catchy, dude.
Oh.
I was singing it
love
today at work.
I bought the whole Captain America soundtrack on iTunes just to get that song.
You have to buy the whole thing to get that song.
Yeah, that one's like
lame.
behind the paywall. It's terrible.
That's Alan. I think that's Alan Menken, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
I think so.
That's great. Okay.
number 3 is Thor Ragnarok.
It's so good.
It's just so much fun, and I love Taika Waititi. Number 2 is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah. It was a close between Ragnarok and Homecoming for my number 5 pick, but I like Ragnarok more.
And my favorite is Civil War. I just think it's
pretty
everything
great.
I want in a
yeah.
comic book movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously. There's
It
just
does when it needs to. That's the
yeah,
important thing.
exactly, and it does it well.
It
but
is
there's also
very
just a
utilitarian.
stupid amount of heroes, and they fight each other. They fight villains. It's great. It's so much fun.
Can we just have a quick Zemo appreciation moment? Because I think that's a great villain, and he doesn't have any powers, and he's just playing both sides against each other, and I love him.
I hope he returns.
Yeah, no, he very well could.
That'd be fun.
He's a big villain in the comics.
Yeah. Oh
He
yeah.
actually has powers and junk too. But,
Yeah.
Mason, what's
And
your
a
top
purple ski mask. It's great.
pick? Yeah, can't forget the ski mask.
I've seen some concept art where he has that, and it's really cool.
I think it would have been nice if they threw a little like dark purple into the costume.
Yeah, yeah,
Then you'd be reminded of David Tennant too much.
yeah.
But Mace, what's your top 5 MCU?
Okay. So counting down, mine was Captain America: Civil War.
Ooh.
Number 1 or number 5?
5.
Okay, so counting up.
All right. Yeah. Sorry.
You did say counting down. It's okay.
Sorry.
We're all good.
We all make
How are
mistakes.
you?
Captain America: The First Avenger. I love Joe Johnston. It's just a fun thing. I watched it the other day.
Do you like Jurassic Park 3 then?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
it.
can't win 'em all.
Yeah. No. Then Guardians of the Galaxy. I think we all
Nice.
know
I'm
that.
surprised that's not your number 1, but okay,
yeah,
keep going.
that's rather low.
Black Panther actually for me.
Okay.
And then
That one was much lower on my list than I care to admit, and I did
Yeah.
like the movie.
Yeah, so I mean, Black Panther really struck a note with me. I don't know. It was just really special for me. And then yeah, Guardians Volume 2 is actually my
That
favorite.
makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go.
Guardians 2 is so good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
surprised
wonderful.
Black Panther was higher than Guardians 1. But I'm alright with it.
Guardians 1 is still great and everything, but
Careful.
yeah, no. It's just I guess it's because I've seen it so many times now. It's just I know the beats.
That's why it's not high up on my list. It's just I've grown tired of it because like we watched that like 5 times our junior year of college.
Yeah, we did.
What chord did Black Panther strike with you? I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah,
about
actually,
that.
that's a good discussion.
He's just a hero. I know you guys don't like T'Challa, but I love him. I
like T'Challa. I just don't like how invincible the suit makes him.
I just think he's boring.
Yeah, see, I think he's interesting. I think the
I think
themes in the
Killmonger's
film.
amazing.
Yeah, Killmonger's amazing. The
Yes.
themes in the film, the score is fantastic. I was listening to one of the tracks. I believe it was the one where I think it was actually the score where Killmonger dies at the end, and I started filling up the other day just listening to it. There's so many good things in this film. The production design, so many awesome characters. I love M'Baku. I think he's fantastic. It just brought so much to the table that I can't overlook all that it's accomplished. Yes, in the social strata. Yes, with the commentary and everything. But just at the core level of storytelling, world building, I just love it.
All right.
I agree with all those points.
Yeah.
Good for you.
We are going a bit long. Do we want to talk about our least favorites? I mean, let's all be honest. I think we could say our least favorite is The Incredible Hulk, but we've never seen it. So.
No,
No,
I actually like
The
that.
Incredible Hulk.
Oh, okay.
I really like
wow.
it.
I would
All
put
right.
that ahead of Ant-Man.
Oh, absolutely. I'd put that ahead of Doctor Strange.
My mistake. I didn't know it was a crowd favorite.
There's too much Doctor Strange hate on this podcast. I really had fun with it. Did I watch it wrong?
I guess I had higher expectations of it. It just there's something that was missing there. But yes, Incredible Hulk is actually pretty great.
It takes its time to tell its story. And
Oh,
kinda
definitely.
Shows the tragedy of,
And
of
yeah, say
Bruce
what you will
Banner.
about like it being a different actor, but Norton's great.
Oh no, I would have been okay with him staying. I love Ruffalo. I mean,
Yeah,
the other
I
reason
love
don't like
Ruffalo's perfect.
the only reason I don't like is just it barely connects. Like they reference it a couple times.
Yeah.
And if the Ross character hadn't come back for Civil War, I'd be like, whatever, skip it. But now I'm like, yeah, watch it because I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, Mace, let's save your question for the bonus episode because I think it'll actually be relevant because it's Avengers.
Oh yeah. We can definitely do that.
Yeah. I would love to. Okay, so not for the bonus episode that'll come out later this week, but for the next actual episode, it's my turn to pick the theme, and
that it is.
I'm very excited about it.
Okay.
Go on.
My theme is movies with the year in the title.
What?
Whoa.
So I'll tell you
got
what.
1984 or 2012. I really can't think of anything else.
Well, I'll be watching 10,000 BC.
I guess that counts.
Tyler, you'll be watching Year One. Mason, you have 2 choices.
Oh, okay.
You can either join me on the Roland Emmerich party and watch 2012, or you could watch one of Spielberg's early films and watch 1941.
You should watch 1941. Don't give him an option. Watch 1941.
I'm going for Spielberg. I'm gonna go for Spielberg 1941.
1941 it is.
That movie has its fans. I don't hate it.
All right.
This will be interesting.
I have
Tyler,
no
have
idea
you
what I
seen
just
Year
signed
One
up to.
before?
Year One though. All right.
Have you seen that before?
Me, I have seen all these movies.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess you'll be the expert next
don't-
episode.
I don't think highly of any of them, but I don't hate them either.
All right. Well, if you ever want to ask us a question, you can tweet at us at artificialpod, or you could email us at artificialpod@gmail.com. If you want to reach the show, Oh, no. If you want to reach us, you can find me at Josh_Lakaitis on Twitter. Mace, where can they find you?
Good old Price.
And Tyler?
You can find me in cell 42601. So please write.
And thank you to everyone who listens. Like, it does mean a lot that you listen to just three idiots talk about movies. We really do
Definitely.
appreciate it.
So Jordan and Chad, we thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone else,
And, yeah. If you could give this podcast a share, tweet about it, give us a review, we really appreciate it because we don't, other than sharing it on our social media, we don't do any advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you share it, I'll say a dirty word of your choice on air.
And also,
thank you for listening. Thank you to Sam Martin for our theme music.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job, and I do love it.
You see, all the dirty words will sound the same, so they'll never know if I said it or not because you'll censor it.
And also
It's
leave a
the
comment
perfect
below if you
crime!
can. Leave a comment below if you can. What's your favorite MCU movie? What's your favorite non-MCU Marvel movie?
Tweet. I would actually, tweet at us what you thought of Avengers: Infinity War.
Definitely.
And
No
and we'll talk.
spoilers.
We'll read some out on the show.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Do that.
Here, Tyler. We snuck this in for you.
Huh?
We snuck this in for you.
What is this? Ooh. Oh. Yeah, he brought my favorite toilet paper. I get 2-ply. It feels so much...
No. See, you shove it in the toilet. You get it to overflow. When they take you out of the cell, make a run for it. We'll be waiting outside in a laundry van. As soon as you get there, we'll head to Canada. And we'll just do the show from there.
No one will expect me to pretend to be laundry. That's perfect.
Wait a minute. I thought we were taking the laundry van. We were driving back to our place, and then when the bay was full, when the rain came, we'd empty him out into the bay. I thought that's what we were doing.
No.
We weren't doing a Shape of Water. Maybe that was.
Oh, wait, shush! Here comes the guard. Here comes the guard.
All right, stuff it in.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next episode with me, Mason, and Martin Short.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone.
I enjoyed my last episode.